What's up, guys? Sorry I haven't been away from 2-year break, and now I'm getting back in shape. And I'm going to try to give you some more videos. I want to go over some of the combat theory that I've applied to the form, why I've modified my form. I spoke about this in other videos, but the Tai Chi that I learned first and the Tai Chi that I learned throughout a decade and a half of running around Chinatown and picking fights with people. And luckily being around a lot of old masters and some really good players, and doing a lot of other combat sports and training and things like that, and working in the field, I've come to realize what works, what doesn't. And as I said before, I modified my form. Every time I go to push hands meet, every time I sparred, every time I saw something bad happen, I tried to modify my forms. Not just this one, but even my traditional karate form and things like that. We'll go over a couple little points. The first thing I want to talk about is stepping and light versus heavy. Most of the people that are training, they're training heavy, meaning their feet are locked, they're constantly sinking, which is good. But when you're only training the slow form and you're only training heavy, what's going to happen? Under pressure, you result to training. So when you see your basic, any Tai Chi form, with your basic, yada yada, okay? This will say right ward off. This is where most of your grass balance tail starts. We'll plant their feet, and they sit down, and they go into this competition, push hands type move. This is not going to work in real life. In real life, you have to be able to move. They become very heavy and very light at the same time, okay? And then all of a sudden, oh shit, I need to get the hell out of here. How do you disassemble? How do you train that? How do you train this heavy but light at the same time? Add some extra steps to your form. Start practicing your fajing, start practicing power out, okay? So in my system, the way that I designed it, it's based on some of the young brothers and Chen style, some Wu style, traditional karate. I mixed everything together, okay? People could argue with me, oh, it's not right. I don't care, okay? Because Tai Chi is supposed to be changing. One of my teachers was explaining to me that when you do the form, you shouldn't be doing the form the same speed every time. Just do it to the rhythm of your body and your intent of that day. Some days, it's good to train extra slow, light medicine. Some days you have to go hard and fast. And you have to be able to do both. Don't get stuck in one idea, because that's double heavy in your mind. You're gonna sit here and constantly be training light and soft and super slow. You're gonna fight like that. And I don't care what anybody tells you. Because none of you Tai Chi guys are actually training. That's why you're getting messed up. So, my system is 5 steps. I've talked about this in other videos. There's 5 positions that power output. For you guys, just to get an understanding, add the extra sliding step, back foot step, okay? You see some jingy and all those styles. When you're here and you reach the end of that move, you're feeling like you want to lean past that point of no return. Instead, allow that to vacuum your back foot and get that extra power in, okay? So you'll see me do this a lot. When I'm doing this, for me there's 5 positions, okay? Now I'm just doing open variations. I'm not doing anything specific, so you guys have a general idea of what I'm talking about. So adding these extra steps, let's see, right order. Move. Take big steps, move. Change the form. It's okay. Okay? It's not a law. Okay? The Tai Chi gods and old Taoist masters are not going to come down from the North Star and kick your ass because you're playing and you're experimenting, you're exploring your body and how things move. You should think about how it's going to be rate in combat. Okay? You're constantly planted. You're constantly heavy. When you need to move, you're not going to be able to. And you get a punch in the face, you get stabbed, something bad is going to happen. Right? Another thing is practice combat power once in a while. Right? Go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. And let anybody argue, oh, you're using too much Li. Bullshit. So I'm going to tell you, all these guys who sit there, oh, you have to be soft, they only play with each other. Okay? I don't see any of these fancy Tai Chi guys do what I did, okay? And granted, I came from a hard style, I sparred, I did all this crazy shit first, but I stayed in my Tai Chi game and played against other styles to see what worked and what didn't. I don't know many people who did that, okay? And in order to make it work, it has to change. It has to adapt, all right? In order to, say, do roll back, yes, you can do it soft, okay? You can let somebody fall. But at the end of the day, sometimes you have to drag a mother, okay? Sometimes you have to lay somebody out, okay? When you have press. Press, there's a lot of variations. You know, sealing the breath, grabbing to the back of the head. You know, this is not just, oh, what are you doing? You know, I've been seeing a lot of stuff lately since I've been away, and it ain't cool. It ain't cool. So try first practicing these steps and practicing powering. Okay, what's the technique do? What is it supposed to do? If I'm doing ward off, what is this? Right? Obviously, I have the shield. I have a back fist. Okay, I have a rake. I have a grab. I'm not gonna be able to do this like this. Fights are fast. Speed kills. You need to be moving. You need power. Okay. So if I'm here, I get to that point of no return. Instead of me just giving that up, I have a whole other quarter of my body that's not being used. Give it to him. You know, the thing about that makes Tai Chi such a great style to put on top of other systems. I don't think Tai Chi should be taught as the only system or the first system. You should be training other systems and then add this as a vitamin or a mineral. You know, Tai Chi is perfect for that middle range where nobody wants to play, where everyone thinks that they're safe, where everyone thinks, you know, like, where no one thinks they're safe, excuse me. Because most fighters, they want to be outside or they want to be inside, all the way on top of you. Nobody wants to be in this trapping range, okay? When Chung guys, you know, they're comfortable there, but look what happens to them most of the time, because they're only playing in this style, in that game. There's some good guys, I've seen some good guys in the channel, but there's so few and far between, because not many of them have the balls to go and cross-train and see what works and stay in the game like a boxer does. Because you take a boxer and they go up against a karate guy, they're going to keep boxing. They're not going to try to do anything different. How many people do you see do that? Hi, Cat. You're on me, I'm teaching. That's Appa, by the way. It's my flying bison. All right. Some other little details. Let's just take single whip, right? How many versions of single whip have, right? You got open variation, single whip, all these different variations, right? And you see the one that I like the most. Maybe since I'm ranting today, it's my first day back. Let's I'll explain to you why I do my way. Okay? So let's just say we go into clear chest, sink and push. So now I'm at that point of no return. I just did a double palm strike, whatever seal, whatever's happening here. Okay. As I hit this point, I feel I'm at the point of return. I'm going to allow that vacuum to power me up again. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to return that wave, and now I have my double spear finger, collar grab, whatever it is. All right. So again, we're talking about that double power output. Now from here, as I'm throwing him away, in the classic says before you go left, go right. So that means before you go up, you go down. It is wrong. The Chen Man Ching style is wrong. You cannot do this. Okay? A lot of times I see people do this. There's variations where you can circle it out, but it's still two-dimensional. Okay? One of the variations that was taught was rolling. Okay? I've seen so many variations. But just to prove the point down, maybe one. At this point, I can't just return this way. I have to loop around, okay? I can't just stay with that energy. So you'll see this in punch, okay? Step forward punch. Unlike karate, you don't punch, let the energy die. You have to, and circle out. Circle out. Circle out. Circle out, circle out, okay? So that it's a constant, there's only one move in this form. The whole form's one move. That allows you to become very fluid in that close range where you're bumping people and you need to smack somebody up. Okay, for lack of a better term. All right? And I'm sorry guys, I feel bad that I haven't really been around. There's a lot going on, and you know, I'm coming back. All right, I'm coming back. So we just did review the stepping, why I'm doing the stepping, and going back into this circling out and how to do variations. So we're going to add the stepping and circle out. We have our basic variation here, and which this is 2D. Okay, this is 2D. Let's make it 3D and add the extra step. Okay, so first, before I go, before I go left, I have to go right. Before I go up, I have to go down. Before I go down, I have to go up. So I can't just be on a level plane at any time. It has to be slightly off. All right? If I had a partner, I would explain to you why this is. But when you test it on your friends and your partners, you'll feel what I mean. That slight deviation going this way versus going slightly up and slightly over. 3 vectors versus 2 vectors is always better in a fight. Okay? I've gone over this in other videos. I know you guys who watch me, you understand. So we're here. Now this is a logical progression when you understand what I mean by shifting the weight to that point of return, and before I go up, go down, before I go left, go right. So these variations are natural, okay? Now I'm not saying this is the right way. I'm saying this is one of many ways that will still be close enough to the proper internal dynamics that will allow you to use this in combat. And you gotta have that in mind. Otherwise, you're just playing. You might as well, like Yang Shenmin said, if you want to do Tai Chi just for health, go dancing. Put some nice music on and go dancing. It's not dancing, okay? It's not dancing. It has to evolve. So, okay? Now people are going to argue with me and say that this is wrong. I'm asking these Tai Chi guys, can you kick my ass? Okay? Because when you're playing like this and you're playing with your partners, and I'm going to stab you in the throat with my fingertips, who's going to win that game? I'm going to win that game every single time. Okay? And that's the end of the story. You know, I'm not saying I'm tough. I'm not. I'm a pussy. I hate violence. I hate getting hit. I have so many injuries, but that's why I train like this. Because God forbid, when this shit goes down, it's an accident for me. Okay? I don't like fighting. So I try to get as good as I can so that when some bad guy is doing something bad, I don't have a choice. It just happens, you know, and I get to go home. That's what I want you guys to really get out of this. You know, 'cause I don't, with all the shadow banning and nonsense, only about 100 of you, maybe 200 of you get my videos anymore, and those are the ones who really deserve it anyway. So now I'm going to say another sneaky thing. Every time you step, there's a kick involved. Okay? So when I go into wood off left, right? This is a stomp, okay? Elbow, back fist. This could be reverse rich hand or right hand block, okay? But when you start going through the form, every time I do this double step is a kick, okay? So when I go here, you have your side kick, okay? Traditional Korean side kick. Is it part of Tai Chi? No. Can it be? Yes. Why not? Says who? Who said you can't do that? Who says I can't throw a roundhouse kick? Okay? When I go into step up to 7 stars, right? Who says that when I make this turn, I can't throw a roundhouse kick to the crescent kick? Who said I can't do that? It's my training. Where is this law that says you have to do it this way when it doesn't work? When it doesn't work. Now, am I saying you should be doing this as your base study? No. No. But you have to think outside the box. You gotta start thinking outside the box to get yourself, you know, effective. Okay? What's some other cool things that you can help you add this in? I think doing the form at combat speed, or at least in areas where you feel naturally that you want to speed up. Don't feel locked into these timings. Yes, if you're a very beginner, you have to start from the beginning. You have to learn the basic form with the smooth. That's great. If you're doing the same thing for 10 years, bro, and you're fat, and you can't move, and you can't walk, and you can't fight, okay? What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay? So don't do that. You're making us all look bad and you're killing me, and you're getting people hurt. It don't make no sense. Alright? What else is there? For instance, golden cock stands on one leg, right? Here's a so you're going into stepping up. Okay? What is happening here? When you do this check, why not clear this area? Why not clear this area? Why not clear? Okay? Why not actually start doing some combat ready applications? Okay? Actually power out. Think about what you're doing. Okay? If you're doing your punches every single time, and you never actually throw the punch, how do you expect it to work, bro? It don't work like that. Okay? Let's see, what else we got for you kids? I'm really sorry I haven't been around. I really am. But there's been so much going on, and now I have to get myself back in shape. You know, but I promise I'm gonna do my best to come here and rant for you, the chosen few who actually pay attention. Alright? So we went over the extra steps. How do you incorporate when we repeat this? Oh, watch out, I'm gonna step on you. So just remember, there are rules, okay? If you haven't read the classics, I don't know what to tell you, but the basic rules always apply. So when you're modifying stuff, don't modify something in a way that breaks the foundational theory, okay? For instance, when I add these extra steps, right? I'm still keeping my alignment. Some styles let you lean, some styles keep you straight. It doesn't matter. But from the frenum or the third eye, the forehead to the knee, the way that the body's aligned, the 70-30 principle, these things have to remain intact, right? So when you add these steps, make sure you're still following these rules. Back toe can't cross the real heel, the front heel, things like that. But allow it to happen naturally. This wants to happen. This wants to happen. It wants you to be free. It wants you to be free, okay? It wants you to be free. It doesn't want you to be stagnant, okay? It wants you to be free. It wants you to move forward and be free, okay? It doesn't want you to be, you're not soft, you're stiff in your mind. And it's like the form of no form thing, okay? Allow yourself to express yourself in your art, but not breaking the foundations that made it work in the first place. And that's the mistake. So many of these masters, for instance, William C.C. Chen, great teacher, great master. He only trained with Chen Man Ching for 2 years or something, okay? 2.5 years before he became a master. I trained for 25 years in my old karate style before I became a master, okay? How is it that they become these godlike figures to you people, okay? He's an excellent innovator, but why is he so special that he can change the form, but you can't? It doesn't make sense. It's your self-limitations. People telling you what you can and cannot do. And at least William C.C. Chen back in the day when I first started learning, they were hitting each other. So at least they were actually getting it in, all right? Nobody else does that no more. They don't do that shit. So, and I'm not disrespecting William C.C. Chen because without his lineage, I wouldn't have even started this. So I love what he's done, but at the same time, I'm going to be realistic. You know, these masters, they didn't train at the length of mastery. They don't know all the weapon forms. They don't know the two-person combat forms. They don't teach any of the extra stuff. They have one form and some combat sets, and that's their entire system. And then people worship it like it's the Bible, and that's why they get hurt. That's why, you know, and if it's not just hurt physically, they hurt mentally. The problem with this, you know, Chen Man Ching and all these people who that lineage diluted through everywhere, is it makes you slow and it makes you too heavy. And everyone I've seen in older age do not move well. They don't move well. So I'm going to challenge you, Tai Chi guys, get out of the box. The box will still be there for you, okay? I'm not telling you to abandon your system, Sun, Moon, Ching, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. That'll always be there. You know, you can always go back to your traditional form, but if you're not testing and experimenting and expressing and feeling what's happening around you, you're dead, okay? It's double heavy or double light in your mind, okay? It's not good. Maybe we should go with some variations of other movement form. Let me see what is there. Let's go over Fair Lady Weaving Shuttles, I guess. Right? Or, before we get there, I have like 7 different versions of single whip that I do. Okay? So, one of the single whips has the butterfly knife set with white snake Smith's tongue. One of the other ones more traditional with the ox jaw, That's the one I go into. The third one, that's after the kicks, going right after diagonal flying, or part horse's main argument, whatever it is. Okay, so I should go through the whole sequence for you. Actually, that would make more sense. Again, guys, I'm just coming back in part 2. This is for my special people who actually pay attention. All right, this is for the masses. So we just did our kicks, yada yada. Okay, so we're going into the northeast or whatever it is, that corner turn. Going into beware of fist under elbow. Okay, where's the angle for you guys to see this? So, okay, fine. So I'm here. Okay, now I'm going to cut the corner coming back in. Use that retinal scrape knife hand. Okay, here I see something people don't actually do. When they make this back turn from the back foot, they don't wrap properly, because this is supposed to hide your hand as if you had, I don't remember what they call it, but they used to have like these big ass sleeves. And what you do is you're hiding your hand through the sleeve. Okay? So as you're coming through, like something here, okay, cut, second power out, third power out. Okay? There's that extra kick again. I do this when I'm alone. I usually don't show this on video, but what are we gonna do? Okay, sorry. So you have that kick, and then you have this move that's coming from here. So it's hiding, okay? Going into diagonal flying, right? Pulse monkey, right? Diagonal flying, okay? Cloud hands. Cloud hands can be done nice and gentle. In my form, I only do 2. I remove the third one because, again, most people aren't going to have time to practice. I need to be able to use this stuff. Okay? So what do you have here? You have a roll and a shovel punch or a hook. Okay? Floating rib, spleen, liver. Okay? All right? There's no reason not to practice your power. All right? There's no reason, because you're not able to use this stuff if you don't know what it feels like to actually let it loose. Let it loose, let it go. Going into Fair Lady weaving shuttles, right? So you're here. What is this? This is a knife hand karate, or rich hand. Same thing. It's also the retina graze. Again, like I've always said, whenever you're doing this form, you should be cutting incidentally. As I go to block, I'm going to rake his face. Okay? So it should be instinctual that as I go to cut. Alright? That's what should happen. Alright? Dolly tree. Alright? Get the extra step. Now you'll see this in Pakme. They do a lot of these type of strikes where they're blocking your hand at the same time. You also see this back foot step. I've hit him once, I'm gonna hit him again. Alright? I hit him once, I hit him again. Now, when I practice this, I don't do 2 separate movements. But a lot of times you're gonna get caught up in this position where you hit the guy, and you gotta get him all, you gotta hit him again. So instead of me retracting, I use that second step. And I've used this so many times because a lot of the stuff I've done, working in clubs, tight spaces, I've had to be here, and we're not gonna be wrestling on the ground. Okay, I have to get this guy down. I'm gonna tell you straight up, a palm strike to the sternum lays people out. Okay? Palm strike to the frontal, to the jaw, it stops people. Okay? I'll let you know right now. It stops people. So, I hope that makes sense. But, yeah, so add your steps. Remember to get out of the 2D. Okay? Remember to actually practice with power. Change your timing. Yes, traditionally, the forms we practice, perfect. But that's for health. It's not for combat. Okay? It's not for combat. If you're not doing the 2-person sets and the weapons, because that's probably the excuse that was made was like, when I was taught first, was that the steps that were missing in my form will be found in the sword form. Okay? But nobody does that. And nobody has the will to do that, to actually dissect and practice for hours and pull stuff together. It's a master's art. You don't got that time. You need it now. You need it yesterday. So start applying that, please. You know, few of you that are still paying attention. All right. The beginning of the form. What is this? Guys coming at me, gonna stab me, gonna punch me. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna get offline, make my fence, right? Okay. From here, what I'm gonna do? Bring him in, hit him again, bring him down. Okay. When I see the applications, a lot of the applications are bullshit also. Okay? A lot of applications like, oh, I do the form here, but then you see these masters, and the guy goes to push them, and what they do, they take a step backwards. First of all, Tai Chi doesn't go backwards. Not like that, okay? Not like that. So, if you're doing a form, the application takes you your center of mass, center of balance, completely outside of the technique, you're doing something wrong with the form. Then the form should start off like this. Okay? And it doesn't. Think about things like this. What else do we got? What am I missing? Something else I want to talk to you guys about. Crap. We did the foot thing, the power thing. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. What else is good? Yeah, I mean, if you don't have partners, there's not much I can teach you when you're in this lockdown stupidity. But I like to say about timing, right? So don't worry about being a certain speed or time. Worry about going with the feeling of your body that day. You're practicing alone, okay? Yes, I'm not talking to the beginners who don't know anything. I'm talking to the people who are intermediate and advanced and beyond that, who get locked in, okay? If you're practicing the same speed of the form for 20 years, it's not good, okay? Some days you want to move fast, okay? Sometimes you want to, and it doesn't have to be even. Sometimes you're going to feel like you want to power out here. Sometimes you want to feel really slow there. Let it happen, okay? You can have days where you have your slow practice, and you can have days when you have your allowing practice, okay? Being aware of the energy in your body and the momentum that you're carrying and how you feel. Some days you may not be feeling well. Do the form very slow for your health. Some days you have a lot of energy to get out. Let it out. Let it out. Don't be confined, because you're going to wind up hurt. Mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. It's not going to be good for you. Okay? I think that's pretty it. Pretty much it for the rant for the day. Any questions, let me know. All right? I hope this was helpful for you guys. Anybody that wants to donate, a few of you people, it's guidingourdivinity@gmail.com for the PayPal. All right? I appreciate you guys, and I hope it's helpful. Peace.